Hey everybody, Conda here. Welcome back to another video, guys. And today we are going to liberate ourselves, return you back to your originality by talking about the self-sustaining star or the self-sabotaging scheme. And that is just itself the best conversation. And this is really going to help you get to the root cause of why you are the way you are. And in this case, my intention for you is to heal yourself, to love yourself, to be your own damn guru in this journey that we call life, to bring in confidence and healing in conversations, to lift you from a slave mentality to a liberated mentality, okay? Disclaimer, I am not a medical professional. Please seek professional help if you are in need. So this is just my experience. I'm sharing this with you guys for entertainment purposes, educational purposes only. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. So I always talk about this, Conde at 19. Even when I was younger as a little girl, I knew that I needed to fix my soul. I needed to fix my heart. There was something wrong with walking in life, being unconscious of what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, what I'm saying. So I didn't know what the journey looked like. I just knew every time I look in the mirror, I just want to be happy. That's it. Because the journey on how you get somewhere and how you feel does matter. A lot of us, we quick fix our ways into success. We quick fix our ways into relationships and all that just to have a repeated cycle. So it doesn't make sense that I don't have this equation of how do I feel, right? And Kanye wants to feel loved. She wants to feel chosen and adored while she's on this journey to become the best version of herself. And why not have it all? So, okay. I saw this pastor a long time ago. She was talking about we have created a generation of highly educated human beings, which means that they're highly capable of destroying and self-sabotaging themselves, even when it comes to skill levels. So the more skilled a person is, the more they have the potential to self-sabotage. And what I mean by that is I went to school. Okay, not a lot of people go to school. I learned about mindset. I learned about personal development. I spent thousands of dollars in seminars and went to restore my health. So I have all this knowledge and this skill, this wisdom. However, I didn't come from a place of love. I came from a place of lack. And so no matter how far I stretched my rubber band to try to catapult me into the reality that I want, I always kept going back to square one in terms of relationships, finances, in terms of just my image of myself. So it doesn't matter how much degrees you have, the business that you have, the family that you have. If at the core of yourself, there is no love and there is no safety within yourself, you're not even your greatest sanctuary. So what's all this worth? You're running away from yourself by pursuing something the world tells you that if you pursue this, then you will feel less of that. But then you just honestly pursue more of that. And then at the end of your life, you lay in your deathbed and you don't have the relationships that you want, all the business that you work for. It goes back to the matrix. So it's like, yes, how you move through life and how you feel about yourself and how you get somewhere does matter. In this case, feeling safe, feeling loved, feeling the most empowered version of yourself. And so Conde graduated with almost a 4.0 GPA, okay? And I was in 2 internships. I was the go-getter. I was working these jobs. I was taking care of my family. I was a breadwinner. Like, talk about Miss Independent. Yes, absolutely. But Miss Independent was so traumatized. She isn't her own greatest sanctuary. So she worked more. She went to school more. She got into relationships because people are telling her, well, you know, you need to be X, Y, and Z. So she checked all these boxes. But in checking all those boxes, she kept going back to square one. And so what was the problem? Was my mindset. My heart was closed. I was in survival mode. But in reality, no, I was excelling. You couldn't tell me, girl, anything that I thought of, I could achieve, and I did that. But I did it from a place of fear and lack, not from a place of love and safety and confidence, okay? So when I started to be authentic to myself and collapse timeline and believe in this source, you can call it Buddha, God, Jesus Christ, whoever you believe in, I realized, oh my God, the one that I'm praying to is other people's validations of what they think I should be, not of my own. So I had to bury my old self that no longer serves, this self-destructing woman, no matter how educated, how rich she was, right? And embody a new version of myself, where I am this self-sustaining star. And that is what we're going to talk about. How do you actually become a self-sustaining star? How do you actually become the best version of yourself? What does confidence look like? Where do I go? What do I research, right? I always recommend Mental Detox by Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. If you think about it, you're taking someone's years of experience and condensing it within the pages of a book. That's how you get ahead in life, is to be defined by the vision of the future. So if you care about yourself and you love yourself and you say that you believe in God and your actions are not aligning, right? You're not feeling loved, you're antsy, you're stressed, then are you who you say you are? Because I sure wasn't. And so I had to really have a reinvention of myself. I started reading more books. I started getting to prayers. I started meditating more because who am I to sit here and preach this all to you when my actions don't align, when my diet doesn't align, when what I say doesn't align? I'm basically a false prophet, right? And so to be true to yourself and to be authentic to yourself and to build the self-sustaining star is to let go of the self-sabotaging mechanism. Do you drink a lot because you're stressed? Is it hard for you to come into reality that the reason why you smoke or the reason why you spend money is because you're sad? The reason why you're overeat is because you're depressed, right? Are you willing to tell yourself that truth? Because healing, you don't need healing if you told yourself the truth of why you are the way you are. But we're taught to see that truth is this evil thing and that we need to sugarcoat everything. No, becoming a self-sustaining star is how many truths can you tell? That doesn't mean be hard on yourself. That doesn't mean be blunt to where there's no compassion or empathy. That simply means out of all the times that you've lived, although this habit, this way of thinking got you this far, and you know the reality that you want is there, but who you are now is not enough to get you there, and you have to let this version of go. How exactly do you let it go, right? Why should I let it go? So the vision of family, the vision of marriage and business and impact is so great that I'm willing to bury the old version that no longer serves. I don't care what it looks like. I will purge everything that doesn't belong so that way I can get to the reality that I want. The universe conspires on your behalf, right? Whoever you believe in is working on your behalf, but it is your mind telling you that it's not. So to become a self-sustaining star is how many truths can you tell, okay? And how many times can you call out your very own lies that you've been programmed and willing to believe and choose to do? And that's not a conversation for everyone because it is hard to tell yourself the truth. It is hard to tell yourself that you're the reason why you are this way. You are the creator of your reality. Doesn't matter if mom beat you or you've been touched as a little girl or you're broke. The world doesn't care about that. But the creator of the world cares about you. But you have to make it your priority to want to be confident, to want to tell yourself the truth, or else this video isn't for anything. So I told myself the truth. I'm the reason why I'm 200 pounds. I'm the reason why my relationships and friendships aren't working. I'm the reason why I'm not pursuing my dreams or dimming my light. And so once I told myself the truth, I remember I spent literally 2 months grieving, where people think self-love and confidence is this go-getter mentality, chasing your goals. No, 80% of it is grieving and sorrow and feeling. And 20% of it is skill. Anyone can pick up a skill. But can you be human enough to sit with your emotions and to admit your wrongs, to step back, to reflect, and not use the stimulation of drugs, alcohol, movies, games to run away from yourself? Okay? Because telling the truth means stopping in your tracks and stop running away from what you need to tell yourself. Because you can't get to point B if you're not comfortable point A. And now, once you tell yourself the truth, what is it that you want? Right? Who do you want to be? So for me is I was letting the world dictate my dreams. I was letting the world that told me that I am an extension of my parents' dreams. But that is not who I am. I'm not meant to be in college, but some people are. I'm not meant to be a fitness trainer, but some people are. So who exactly are you? So when you tap into truth, God will reveal to you your authentic self. And it is the telling yourself it's safe enough to be you in a world where everybody's too busy being everybody else and embodying that and not apologizing for being the version that God has created you that'll get you to become a self-sustaining star. Tell yourself the truth and ask God who God needs you to be. Okay, and it is an individual self journey. And the third thing is a skill. So Conde wanted to love herself and be confident and be the best version of herself. So she still told herself the truth. You know, I was an angry hothead, didn't know how to budget my finances. However, I want to love myself and I want to be my own best friend. I want to trust myself with money. I want to trust myself with this journey that we call life. I want to be happy while I'm pursuing anything and everything. Happiness is a way of life. It's not some woo-woo thing. Like, don't get me wrong. When you're on this journey to discover yourself and be a self-sustaining star, you are going to literally have to tell yourself all the truth of what you don't believe yourself to be. So you are lovable, you know, you are successful, and time just hasn't caught up with you yet. So one of the mantras that I say is, I'm so grateful that I'm a multi-million dollar woman. I'm so grateful that I have the healthiest, amazing, loving family. And my parents grew up, that my kids grew up in a two-parent household, and that the love between me and my husband is real. Or, you know, you have to talk as if things exist and stop being a coward. Okay. It requires faith. Okay. And a part of faith is failing over and over and over again until you have the reality that you want. So when you're becoming this self-sustaining star and the best version of yourself, people don't tell you, like, you're going to be breaking your own heart sometimes. You're going to realize that you are just as evil as you are good, right? Evil. You make just as much mistakes as you are not making mistakes. So it is the compassion and the faith and the understanding, empathy, and the space you give to yourself while trying to find the truth, while trying to pick up a skill, while trying to be you. And that was what was in my spirit today. Is more than ever, the world is looking for authenticity. The world is looking for someone that is different. And we're so tired of seeing the same thing over and over again on social media. Like, tell the truth, be real and be raw and be honest. That doesn't mean hurt people and be blunt. That simply means it's like, don't apologize for arriving the version of you that you've been praying for all this time. And one of my testimonies, and I talk about this, is when I was in my car, I was looking in my rear view mirror, and this was in the Chicago area, and I couldn't go back home. So for a whole year, I sat with myself. I sat with myself for a whole year. I was like, okay, I don't know. I'm in a different city. I had this little room with my Mexican roommates, and the landlord was like a father I never had. Like, he was always looking out for me. So I'm like, okay, Conde, if you don't sit with yourself alone for a whole year and know what you want, you are going to have kids and marriages out of this place of trying to fill this void. So to become a self-sustaining star, that was the truth I told myself. I want a home people come to, not a void seeking to be filled. And so I told myself the truth that I was broken, but I want to become the divine woman. And so I started being authentic. I started laughing more. I started bringing more joy. I started not apologizing for the way that I introduce myself to the world. I'm very much a bubbly person. I'm very much like happy and joking and laughing. I'm not going to apologize for just because someone's going through shit, right? So I told myself the truth. Hey, this is how I feel. This is what I want to be. Okay. And this is what I need to do. All right. So you have to want to believe it's possible, then to actually know it and to embody it. That is the formula of a self-sustaining star. Well, all that mess of trying to love yourself is building compassion from your inner world, and the outer world is through intention. And everyone that has met me will always say this, unless the haters, Conde has always kept it real. I've always kept it real. I will tell you what it is, but I will also love you for it. And the hardest part was, I'm capable of hurting people because we all are. No one is just as innocent. But I don't have to live like that. And of course you're going to feel the shame and the fear. Becoming a self-sustaining star, if you've ever seen a star, is like it bursts before it can form. So this bursting, this purging, this the shame and the guilt and the doubt and the fears and the traumas that you've had, and walking this journey alone and thinking that, I don't know, I don't think I could ever amount to anything like that, is what a self-sustaining star is. It's the coexisting of the bad with the good, of the fears with the confidence. So when I tell you to be the self-sustaining star, or to go this journey to be the best version of yourself, I'm not saying this world of lack of confidence and poverty and mindset change and rebirth doesn't exist. It has to coexist. Confidence is, I feel so great, but there are days where I don't. But it is the decision, right, to embody something. It is the decision to be like, I remember I chose to feel confident. I chose to love myself. Even though I feel this right now, I'm going to love myself regardless. I want to go back to this state. And so I saw Dr. Bruce Lipton on a Tony Robbins podcast, and he was talking about how 99% of the world walk around with no love and no safety, and that breeds chaos. So how, and I felt this in my spirit, is how God protects those who are confident and loved from those who are in this traumatized state is God loves all of his children. We make that clear, right? Buddha, Jesus, whoever you believe. People that are traumatized don't know how to open up. They don't know how to trust themselves, and they won't let anybody else in. So do you honestly think God is going to take every children that he loves and put them around the traumatized people? Right? That's just not how things work. Until you can lift yourself out of that frequency to feel the feelings and the trauma and to want to heal, then you will attract the people that do love themselves and feel safe within themselves. So in my life, I thought I loved myself. I thought I was this confident version, but it wasn't until my 24th birthday that I fully embodied the love frequency. And in embodying love frequency, I was only met with more love and support. So it's almost like life is a level game, right? You have the fears and the doubts and the insecurities. Until you make the conscious decision, you will forever stay this and attract this and think, right? Think that that's how the world is. But when you make the decision to love yourself, you will rise and rise and rise. Okay. But those people that make the conscious decision, they don't even know that they're making it. So to become a self-sustaining star is to not apologize for wanting to arrive at a greater destination. And you know what I'm talking about. Let go of those buddies that don't serve you. Let go of that habit that doesn't do you any justice. Start to believe in yourself. And so for me is until I get in those rooms, I am more confident in my energy, working on my energy, preparing as if one day I'm going to be speaking on stage. One day I'm going to get married. One day I'm going to have kids, right? So it's like the self-sustaining star is full of, everyone looks at it as like the most beautiful object in the sky, right? However, they don't understand what it actually takes to become it. And it is the unbecoming of what isn't you and tapping into what is you. And it's not like there's a manual, because you have to be spiritually led, okay, to receive that confidence, to receive that love. And that's exactly why confidence isn't something that you have. It's not what you purchase. It's what you do. It's who you are. It's what you decide to want to know. And that's what I felt like I should tell you guys. This is, you have to ask yourself, do I really love myself? And do I actually believe in this creator? Because if I did, how I get to the destination does matter. In this case, do you want to be stressed overweight but you reach $1 million, or do you want to be happy with family, with loved ones, with everything that you can desire, being joyful? And it might take some time, but you will achieve that reality. How you feel, how you carry yourself through this journey does matter, because how you treat yourself and care for yourself is a representation of source, because source God is all loving, all kind, all caring. Okay, and don't let human experiences tell you otherwise. So if I do decide to believe in that, I'm going to have to believe that I'm worthy of feeling safe, I'm worthy of feeling loved and joyful, while trying to become the best version of myself, in this case a self-sustaining star. And I want to wrap up this video again. Tell yourself the truth. The truth does set you free, but it's ugly. Who do you want to be? Stop trying to be like everybody else and all these influencers, stuff like that. Start being you. I could care less about being famous. Okay, start being you. What message do you have? And it is a journey that you have to go by yourself. And the third thing is to pick a skill. Okay, once you tell yourself the truth, you know who you want to be. Okay, what actions do you need to take to align there? Because love is a decision. God decided that to love, so he created us. Jesus loved, so he died for us in a way. And so that is what I have for you guys. It is don't apologize for overthinking, but if you do overthink, think in a loving, conscious way. Think in a way that actually serves you. And like I always say, this is a very, very long video, but if you did decide to love yourself and feel safe within yourself and to build a relationship with yourself and not run away from yourself, how much more successful would you feel and thus radiate, right? And I was put into this trap of if I was a millionaire, if I was a businesswoman, if I, had X, Y, and Z, then I would have all the friends and all the relationships. And then I realized I was successful at one point. I was doing sales. I had my own apartment. I had my own car. I had everything, the dream girl, right? No real friends, unhealthy relationship, just to find myself back at square one. And all the entire time, I felt like the crappiest version of myself. But to the world, I looked like she had it all together. And so I was tired of living like that. And the desire to want to love myself was deeper than anything that I've ever experienced in my entire life. And that meant I had to let go of those attachment to things. And once I let go, God gave me more blessings than I could ever fathom. And so the journey to a self-esteem start is about sacrifice. It's about compromising. It's about it's about willing to take careful risks and willing to believe in you when nobody else is willing to believe in you. And so do not become a self-sabotaging scheme. I don't care if you think that, oh, well, I still have the rest of my life. It starts with a conscious decision today to want to love yourself and to feel safe and to do better and to believe in yourself and let the world unravel its blessings to you. And the moment that I decided that I was going to believe in the source and I was going to love myself and believe in myself, I can't help but honor myself more, honor the source more, because imagine how did Kanye do that all the times where she didn't love herself and she was in survival and toxic relationships and in her car and broke and all that, right? It's like this journey, like you won't just become a self-sustaining star, you will recognize yourself. You will see the full light and the value within yourself. And that is the most beautiful gift, is seeing yourself the way that the source and God sees you, right? While pursuing all these amazing things, while excelling and just reaching your goals. So why not have both? Like I always say, be fruitful, go forth and multiply. Christ consciousness. I love you guys so much.